What's going on, everybody? Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate everybody hanging out. I guess these polls are just in the middle. Gosh, this interface is so weird. I see you. What's going on? Yeah, just trying out this new interface here, going live on YouTube on mobile. But man, let me tell you, not very friendly. Not very friendly at all. Goodness gracious. Yeah, terrible interface here. Appreciate everybody jumping in. Appreciate everybody hanging out. I'm gonna take this pole out of my face. I feel like it's covering my face and it's not going to do anything else. What the heck is this? Oh, this is the camera. Good. Okay, let's get rid of that. All right, let's set this up right over here. Appreciate everybody in here. I wish it would have been better, but all right. Let's start covering some technical analysis here for Bitcoin and many other overall. Like I said, using a new setup here, very weird going live from mobile, but here we go. So right now, Bitcoin, right, has had a nice little pullback from the $97,000 price point. I warned you guys that 97 to 96 to 98 was going to be a very critical zone to flip. So far, we have been rejected from it. The last 2 days, we have created a downtrend and we are following this downtrend. Currently, our previous month high of 94,600 is what's holding Bitcoin's price up right now. There is still one more chance that we could push to the upside for Bitcoin starting next week, early on to next week, right? And going for the previous week high. Right now, the previous week high on Sunday will be set around 97,800 unless we get above there between now and the end of Sunday. So if we're going to assume that Bitcoin will not get above there, we're going to assume that 97,800 will be the local high, the previous week high, starting on Sunday. Now that gives us one more opportunity, one more shot to go towards that $97,000, $98,000 region. If we get rejected from there, I will be entering a massive short. Appreciate everybody coming in, guys. Everybody right now that's watching, make sure you are tapping those likes, hitting that subscribe, and whatever you can do to share out the live, smashing those likes, sharing it with your friend, whatever it is that would help out the live stream would be greatly appreciated here. So as Bitcoin holds 94,600, we are looking for a potential retest area of 97 to 98,000. Now, if Bitcoin loses 94.6, we are looking for a drop down between 92,000 to about 90,800 to the downside, between 92 to 90,800 to the downside for Bitcoin. That is going to be hurting the altcoins. We start dropping lower like that, and the rejection from this $98,000 region that I warned you guys about is coming to more to fruition, that it is the rejection from, and we already know that if we get rejected from that area, we are looking for a overall pullback down to as low as $80,000 to start, with a potential of dropping it as low as $67,000 in the next couple of weeks. So right now, everybody's watching, guys. Let's tap those likes. Fill up those like meters over here on TikTok. Fill up all those like meters. Make sure you guys are tapping that screen, filling up the likes. And over here on YouTube, make sure you guys are also tapping the likes. We have more viewers than likes right now, guys. Make sure you guys are tapping those likes and sharing it out. 80s, how soon? Well, it's really going, like I said, this next week coming up is going to give us the make or break it. We've already reached the make or break it levels of 96 to 98. We have been rejected the last 2 days. We will be setting a previous week high at 97 with one last opportunity in this next upcoming week to retest. And if we get rejected, then it is game on to the downside. Now, how soon will it happen? It will probably happen between now and somewhere towards the beginning or middle of Q2 is how long I expect it to drop. I expect it to be a significant drop, but a slow drop. Now, dropping down to 80,000 will probably happen before the end of Q1, and then dropping down to, if we are going to drop down to 67,000 or lower, that is going to take us deeper into Q2 for Bitcoin. That's just my personal opinion on how I see Bitcoin dropping. Can it be faster than that? Absolutely. Can it take a little bit longer than that? Absolutely. Finding the timing is very, very difficult. What happened to Instagram? Dude, my Instagram got taken down. My Instagram was taken down by the same scammer that took down my original TikTok account. Mass reported it and got it taken down. So Instagram is gone. Hype, the hype. No, there's no hype here, man. It's all facts. All facts. Cardano long term good play. Yes and no. Yes, if you're looking for a move from like 38 cents to maybe 90 cents to a dollar. If you're looking for a move to like $5 plus, probably not. That's just the realistic answer when it comes to Cardano. Are we going back to 97, 98K? We have one more chance. Meanwhile, we hold 94.6. We have a chance of pushing back up towards the 97, 98 early next week. I would assume somewhere between Monday to Tuesday of next week, we will probably rally up there. If not over the weekend, right? As we enter the weekend now, we can see a slow grind to the upside. We've seen a lot of that in the late part of Sunday. Before the week actually closes out, we see a push to the upside, and we see Bitcoin start to get close to those previous highs. If it does that, I will definitely be looking for a strong rejection from that 97 to $98,000 region, and we'll be looking for that drop down to $80,000. When do you think ETH will break all-time highs? Mike Miller. So if the altcoins are going to break all-time highs, specifically Ethereum, right? If Ethereum is going to break an all-time high, we are looking for Ethereum to do that. Bitcoin needs to get above 98. We need to flip 98 into support. Flipping 98 into support will allow altcoins to rally, as 98,000 is major resistance for Bitcoin. And at that point in time, if Bitcoin can flip 98 and start losing some Bitcoin dominance, start dropping into that 58% and lower, we are looking for much higher, right? So however long it takes Bitcoin to do that is how long it's going to take Ethereum to have a potential rally towards a new all-time high. But if Bitcoin is going to hit all-time highs this year, thank you for the gifts, appreciate that. If Bitcoin is going to run for all-time highs this year, we need to get above 98, and then that will allow altcoins like Ethereum to have a potential reality of running towards that $5,000 price point, all-time high, maybe make a new all-time high. Godfather, thank you for the roses. Greatly appreciate all the gifts. Thank you for the roses. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes right now, tapping those screens. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really helps out. Can you explain about XRP at the moment? What do you need me to explain about XRP? The fact that it's not doing anything that the so-called infamous XRP army says it will do, right? Price wise, it's going to do all this crazy stuff because it's the only one with clarity. It's got all this regulation, it's got all these bank partnerships, yada 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 yada. But price does nothing about it. Price does whatever Bitcoin does, right? So yesterday, this week, Bitcoin topped out around 97. XRP topped out at 241, started pulling back. XRP pulled back, right? Bitcoin started having a little bit of a rally to the upside, and XRP had a little bit of a rally to the upside of $2.18, making a lower high, just like Bitcoin did, and then it's dropped back down to its support here around 205 to 208. If we lose that region of support, we're looking for 185 to 175 as support for XRP to the downside. If XRP loses 177, we're looking down at 149 and lower, right? That is going to be with the assumption that at that point in time, Bitcoin is also dropping lower and Bitcoin is dropping towards that 80,000, potentially $67,000 price point, which is going to drag down the altcoins hard. You guys don't understand how hard the altcoins are going to drop when that happens. I need 67K. Been waiting. It's getting annoying trapping people. Yeah, dude. 98K is a massive trap. Even if we don't get the retest next week, the fact that we pumped up into that zone that I warned you guys about and got rejected, started to close dailies and rejections from it, boom. You know how many people were already starting to tweet, we're back, we're back, we're back, we're back at 98,000. And I told you guys that was coming. That was coming. And here it is. Right back down to nothing. Right? So there's still a chance we push back up higher. But for now, I'm still looking for that rejection at 98,000. I'm buying XRP when it gets to 50 cents or lower, hopefully. I don't know about 50 cents. We definitely have targets at the low $1 price point, which I do think is very possible for XRP. If Bitcoin has that drop down to $67,000, then I definitely see XRP dropping to as low as $1, right? So at least $1 can definitely happen. 50 cents, I don't know, but $1 definitely possible for XRP. Don't, uh, you know, don't believe all the hype. What do you think Zcash would do? Zcash, man, was having a great rally until the party ended when all the main developers said that they were leaving the project, right? Leaving the roadmap and the uncertainty of the future of the project on up in the air. So it's really hurt the project at that point in time. Zooming out here, let's go take a look at the chart for Zcash. Zcash has came all the way down to 361, had a bounce, pushed back up, and got rejected again around this 445. We've dropped back down again. So unless we can start getting back above 451 and start closing multiple dailies, maybe a week above there, I would say that we're most likely heading lower. We're creating lower highs here. We have the high, right? We have a double top high around $700. Then we have a lower high at 560 that we set back at the December 29th. And now we've dropped lower, still making a higher low at 361, potentially making another lower high here at 442, 445. And if we keep dropping lower, once we break 301, if we drop to 301 to 296, which is a target I've been looking for quite some time now, if Zcash drops to those points, to those 301 to 296 and loses it, we are creating an overall arching double top and breaking the lower high, the higher low structure, and we are going to be dropping down to 147 and lower. Right now, we have other privacy coins that have taken place. XMR up 40% this week, 50% this month, having a major rally. Dash up 136% this week, up 8% just today, pushing to $94, right? Massive rally for Dash. Dash and XMR are both in the privacy sector, so they're definitely picking up the slack for Zcash's pumps. Hola, Crusader. What's up, Scott? Good to see you, Scott. Good to see you in here, man. Good to see all of you guys buying. Good to see all of you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Where is HBAR going? Which cryptocurrencies should we consider buying as of today? What do you recommend? So, Birdie, I've been saying that if Bitcoin gets rejected, and the reason why I haven't been buying any altcoins and I haven't been bullish and super excited about altcoins is that $98,000, right? If Bitcoin does truly get rejected from 98 and confirms the rejection and continues its downtrend here, Bitcoin being rejected at 98,000 leads to a Bitcoin pullback of at least between 80,000 to $67,000 price point, which in turn will crush your altcoins. So would I be buying altcoins right now? No. If Bitcoin begins to flip 98,000 as support, then I would be interested in buying some altcoins. And I understand altcoins are going to rally, altcoins are going to pump up. I could be buying them a lot cheaper right now. Yes, but the risk of them dropping significantly decreases if Bitcoin flips 98 into support. Because if 98 is flipped into support for Bitcoin, then that means that we have a very good likelihood that we will be pushing for 105 to 111,000, most likely running for a new all-time high, running back up to that 126 and making a new all-time high this year, which will in turn pump your altcoins like crazy. But this $98,000 rejection that we've been getting so far for the last couple of days is showing that if that rejection is not invalidated and we don't flip 98 into support this next week coming up, the macro time frames, the weeklies, are leading up to a monthly, right? Because the month of January is coming to a close here soon. That we're gonna get potentially a monthly close of and rejection from 98, which in turn will lead to a larger pullback and crush your altcoins. So that is why I personally will not be buying any altcoins until 98,000 is flipped into support for Bitcoin. Appreciate everybody here smashing those likes. Top three in your opinion to do to do max X's, guys. This is not the time to be looking for max X's right now. Right, we are at the later part of a bull run. Right, we've had a massive rally already throughout 2023, 2024. Right, this is not the time to be looking for 50 X's, 100 X's. Will some of those happen? Yes, right? But those are high risk plays. You need to be positioning yourself to be getting 50% moves to 100% moves and be happy with that, guys. Don't let the greed get to you. That question of how many, the give me the altcoins that are going to do the most X's in your personal opinion, right? Because everybody wants 50x, right? Nobody wants a 5x, nobody wants a 2x, nobody wants a 3x, right? Nobody wants a 100% move, which is a 1x, right? Nobody wants that. No, no, no. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Everybody wants to become millionaires overnight. And that is what gets everybody wrecked, my friends. That is what gets everybody wrecked. Why? Because altcoins are so much riskier. And if you're not following the data on the charts on what Bitcoin is doing, you have no idea where your altcoins are headed. And when your altcoin does pump 100%, maybe 200%, you're going to be waiting for that 1,000% move to get that 10x plus, right? And that's how you get left holding the bag, because you don't take profits, because you let the greed get into you. I meant solid coins. I know that you're looking for solid coins. But even with the most solid coins, we're not looking for many X's. We're looking for 50% moves to 100% moves, right? Somebody asked about H bar. I think that everybody could agree that H bar is a solid coin. H bar is solid. It ain't going anywhere. It's not going to go to zero. It's not going to disappear tomorrow. It's not going to be a rug pull. H bar is currently sitting at 11 cents, practically 12. Let's call it 12 cents. AVAX, H bar needs to get realistically above 14 to 15 cents to re-enter its previous year range. Once it's back in this previous year range, its main targets are between 19 cents to 24 cents. Now let's measure out those moves. A move from where its current price point is at to 15 cents is 26% move. Nobody's excited about a 26% move. A move to its first main target of 19 cents, it is a 63% move. Still not exciting enough. A move to 24 cents, which is pretty much hitting the value area high, the upper band of the range for 2025, is a 110% move. Still not exciting enough. I saw you on an XM video on X. Appreciate that, King Kong. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody in here smashing those likes. I know it's still new, but I need to ask about midnight. Man, it's very hard to do any technical analysis of midnight. Midnight is just running based off full speculation, no technical analysis, just too much, not enough data yet. Not enough data. I don't even think it has a full month of data yet. After a full month, you can at least look at some weeklies and stuff like that. But until then, it's just not. I have altcoins been holding for a few years. I'm down. Should I sell them and get something solid? If you were gonna sell them, you should have done it back in December. From my personal belief, I think that it's still in regulation. It's still okay for in crypto to sell your crypto at a loss, harvesting that loss, and then buying back in. Right? I'm not 100% sure. Make sure you confirm with your CPAs, and you can lock in those losses. Now that we started a new year, selling them now wouldn't be any tax advantage until 2027's taxes. So I wouldn't do that right now. No, don't sell. Just buy more. That's what everyone does. Just never sell. Just buy more. There's some truth to that, but there's also some things you need to be very careful with that. MLB says, "What's your top five coins, guys?" My top five coins, right? There's a million coins, and there's a bunch of coins that are going to do fantastic, fantastic, right? And it really depends. It's such a tricky question because top five coins in like what sector, right? Because there's so many different sectors now. It's hard to just pick one coin out of every single sector. So top five outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? I'm gonna make it even easier for you guys. Outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm looking at Aerodrome. I'm looking at Jupiter, a DEX on Solana, something on Solana that's not Solana, right? Jupiter. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at AVAX. I'm looking at let's see here. What else do we got here? So we got three already, right? We're gonna be looking at Sui. I'll throw Sui in there as number four, right? We're already running out of options. And I'll throw in Bit Tensor Tau for AI. That's five coins. Is it my top five of all? No, it's just such a hard question to answer because there's so many different sectors, right? We have DeFi, which you have Aave, Lido, which I think are going to do well. Uniswap, which I think is going to do well. I think the privacy sector is going to continue doing well. Be careful with that though. I think Bitcoin Cash is going to surprise a lot of people and actually do very well here in this year. Bitcoin Cash has been doing some very strong movements to the upside, holding above $600, and I definitely think Bitcoin Cash is going to catch a lot of people by surprise. I never thought I would say that. I never thought that I would actually be somewhat bullish on Bitcoin Cash, but yes, Bitcoin Cash is having some decent moves here. I like Ando. Render has been doing very well, 71% up in the last month. Can go higher, absolutely. VChain down 76% of the year. I think VChain can have at least a rally up to 3 to 5 cents, which is going to be magnificent from where it's at a penny right now. So yeah, it can do well. Morpho, Pudgy Penguins can do well. There's just a lot of coins, man. Virtual Protocol, so many different coins in the top 100. It's very hard to choose just five. Pepe cooked, guys. The problem with Pepe and many of these large community meme coins from back in the day, the legacy meme coins, is that Pump.Fun destroyed the meme coin community. They destroyed it, and it's not just because of everybody getting wrecked and losing money on meme coins. It is because the community aspect has been destroyed. Nobody cares about communities and meme coins anymore. They just care about being in the trenches, getting in and getting out of meme coins as fast as possible, which you should be, right? You should be getting in and out of meme coins as fast as possible to make money. But that destroys the initial thesis of meme coins like Pepe, like Bonk, like Floki, which was very community based. It wasn't so much about the major rallies. And yes, they did have major rallies. They did have nice breakouts, and it was great. But it was more about the community and what the project was building, what the community could achieve together, and slowly working together, they would achieve these big rallies and they would take some profits, right? But that is very difficult to find now. Communities are gone. Floki, Bonk, Pepe, stuff like that. You've seen them have rallies here at the beginning of this year. They will continue to have rallies as altcoins rally overall. Pepe is up 51% this month. Bonk 31%. What else we got? We've got Pengu up 30. We've got Floki up 25. So they'll still have rallies, but those days of like the big community, the big pumps, those days are over. I think XLM is going to outperform XRP on return to investment. King Kong, I actually would agree with you there. I would actually agree with you there. The reason why I say that is if we go take a look at XLM, right? We know XRP is up a dollar nine, $1.05, whatever it is, and $2. Sorry, $2.05 to around there. and it could rally targets once it breaks 241. We're looking at targets for XRP between 281 to 309, which is a nice little rally, but it's not anything massive. Now XLM is at 22 cents. It's well below its yearly range and within a 6 month downtrend. So once it can flip 30 to 32 cents, it will establish itself into the previous year range, and the targets within that range are between 41 to 46 cents. If we measure out from where we are at 22 cents to those main targets to the upside of 45 cents, that is a 100% move. That is 104% to be exact. 104% move. So, do I think XRP is going to pump over 100%? If we go take a look at the XRP chart, right? Taking a look at the XRP chart here, and we'll measure out its different targets from where it's at 27 to its first target up at 281 is 34%. Its next target of 309 is 48%. Its current high of 366 is only 75%, right? And then if it pumps beyond that, then obviously it would have to get above $4.20 and 30 cents, $4.30 to hit 105% move, which would be outperforming XLM. And I believe XLM has a greater chance of getting that 104% move than XRP does to the upside. Just my personal opinion. I know you guys are not going to agree with that. I know the XRP community hates to hear that, but that is just a very likely scenario for XLM versus XRP. Why always XRP literally has a zero utility, a meme coin? That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. I 100% agree with you. Everybody that hypes up XRP, let's be honest, it's just because it gets views, right? The narrative behind XRP, the fact that it is an elite coin by the so-called shadow world of elites and multi-billionaires and bankers, and you are going to be a part of it if you just hang on long enough. But they don't want you to hang on because they don't want you to be a part of their team. And all that narrative is what hypes up XRP and gets views. But reality, banks are starting to trade Bitcoin and offer Bitcoin services and do all these things. Yeah, they're not doing transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain, but they're giving access to their clients and to their investors to Bitcoin through them, and services for Bitcoin are being proposed. And yet all these other banks that have been partnering up with XRP since 2014 are still not bringing anything to the front lines. They're still not doing anything. Oh, the regulation's not there yet. Wait a minute. The rest of the entire world since 2014 has had the opportunity to be using XRP and using them in their banks. Just because the United States doesn't have the regulation doesn't mean that the rest of the world hasn't had a chance up until now. Okay, let's go and make the argument for devil's advocate that, oh, well, the rest of the world is waiting for the US. The XRP community claims that XRP is the only coin with legal clarity right now, which is, by the way, not true, because Bitcoin and Ethereum both got ETFs approvals before XRP. Why? Because they had legal clarity as commodities, right? Not as securities. And XRP just recently got their lawsuit dropped, and they're just starting now to get this so-called legal clarity. But why aren't the banks around the world using them? The banks around the world, in my personal opinion, has always been the banks have studied XRP, they've studied the blockchain, whether through XRP or through something else, and they are more focused on stablecoins. They are heavily focused on creating their own blockchains that can be interoperable with many other blockchains. And yes, XRP will probably play a small part with its stablecoin, right? And being able to transfer money through its stablecoins. But they are not going, no bank and no financial system is going to use XRP and XRP alone. They're going to be a very small part, if anything, of the grand picture. Chainlink is going to play a bigger picture in the entire financial system with Swift than XRP will. It's just that reality. And even then, I don't believe Chainlink is gonna blast off to $200. So I definitely don't believe XRP is gonna blast off to 589. Like it's just not. They don't need it. They can use Ledger basically without it, 100%. They can create their own stablecoin. They can create many other blockchains on their own. The first mover advantage that XRP had, that they could have made the argument that XRP was going to be adopted by banks because they had no other competitor, was back in 2017, maybe 2021. But now it's been too long. The entire world has had enough time to study blockchains and know how to set them up and put them to work and operate them if they wanted to, and there's no reason to go and beg be at the mercy of XRP and Ripple alone. Will nostalgia play a role in price in the future? Maybe. Appreciate everybody over here on YouTube. Make sure you guys are tapping those likes or sharing out the live, doing whatever you can. Appreciate it. Over here, Polygon Crusader. Is Polygon cooked or what? Polygon is making a lot of different things. I just saw that they recently are cutting back on their staff by like 40%, which is pretty drastic. But not totally surprising. They have struggled. They were a layer 2 solution for Ethereum when Ethereum really needed it back in 2021 with the gas wars, right? With the NFTs and all the frenzy that was happening on the Ethereum blockchain. That has since shifted. Ethereum has made many upgrades since then and no longer really needs these massive these massive layer 2s. Their Ethereum is pretty cheap on its own by now, and there's been other blockchains like Solana that has taken some pressure off Ethereum. So targets for Polygon here. Polygon is sitting at 14 cents. Realistic targets to the upside, if it can flip 18 cents, would be 24 to 25 cents. Above that, we're looking at 30 cents. If we get above 30 cents, we do have targets at 44 to 54 cents. Very possible targets. Now, am I expecting Polygon to hit those targets anytime soon? Probably not. Are they realistic? Yes, but they require Bitcoin to be having major rallies, hitting new all-time highs, right? Having euphoria throughout the entire market. And even then, I still don't believe Polygon is going to perform as good as most people expected. Like that $2 plus targets and all that stuff. Don't really see that really in Polygon's future. I could be completely wrong. I'm not 100% up to date with everything that they're doing. So they could have some major announcements that really change up their ecosystem, really change up what their purpose as a blockchain is, and could definitely, spark some major moves. Just how most people, grand majority, I would say 99.99999%, nobody was expecting privacy coins, legacy coins like Monero and Zcash and Dash to have such major rallies like they have in the last 3 months. Nobody was expecting that. Fetch AI have a future? I don't know, man. They might have a future, but ever since the merger, it's been a huge setback for Fetch AI. Fetch AI has consistently made lower highs and lower highs and lower highs and lower highs year over year, month over month, quarter over quarter, since that merger, and it's been very bad news for Fetch AI. So just one of those realities, guys. I want to tell everybody, I appreciate everybody in here. I appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe, and if you haven't already joined my private trading community, the Crypto Citadel, right? And you're looking to get in, you've been saying, man, I've been watching you for a long time. I want to start learning how to actually do analysis, how to be able to digest information, analyze data, and be a better investor in my own way, right? I don't have to be at the mercy of content creators telling me that it's going to hit this price or telling me that it's going to drop. I can do it on my own. That's what the Crypto Citadel is for. The Crypto Citadel is to help you game plan, to help you understand and read data and analyze data as I provide it for you as you're learning. And as you continue to learn, you can go and do it on your own, on top of all the trading activity that we do there already. Right now, you're going to get $50 off, $51 to be exact, $51 off your monthly membership for the lifetime of your membership. Not 50%, not 40%, no, $51. I know a lot of people have asked like, "Hey man, it's just 149 is too much for me. I can't reach 149." Guess what, guys? I'm bringing it back to $99 club. To the $99 club. If you guys have been waiting around and been hoping and wanting to get in, now is your chance. All you have to use is the code 99 when signing up, right? You go to the link in my profile, wherever you're watching, go to the link in my profile, go to my link tree, and you will see there. Use code 99 when signing up, and you will get $51 reduced from your monthly payment every single month for the lifetime of your membership, keeping you at that $99 club tier. So make sure you guys are taking advantage of that right now and join. It's not going to be around forever. If you've been wanting to get in at 99, now is your chance. Hey, Crusader, I think you're going to be wrong on XRP. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. It's okay. It's okay. I don't need to be right about everything. I don't want to be right about everything. We must gain entry to the citadel of cryptography. Nice to meet you. Good to see you. Good to see all of you guys in here. Injective. We'll take a look at Injective in just a second here. Appreciate everybody in here tapping those likes, hitting that subscribe over on YouTube as well, guys. Make sure you guys are sharing out your lives. Drop any altcoins into the chat that you want analyzed, and I will drop it for you as well. I will analyze it for you. Let's go take a look at Injective here. I haven't looked at Injective in a long time, but Injective is currently sitting at $5.29 and needs to get above $7.81 to re-enter its previous year range. Its main targets within that yearly range is between 11.12 to 13.58 to the upside. If we measure out these moves from where we are right now, right at $5.29 to our first big resistance of $7.81, that is a 51% move already. Then the move to its first main target inside at $11 is a 113% move. And then its main target overall is $13.58. It is a 160% move to the upside for Injective if we can flip 781 into support. Only if that happens. And the only way that's going to happen is if Bitcoin flips 98,000 and starts to run for a new all-time high this year. Alexa, cool. You provide trading signals. Awesome. So do I. You can get out of here because you're most likely a scammer. What is your favorite RWA coin? So that's a very good question, right? Most people will probably say Ando. Ando's the most well-known RWA coin, coin market cap. But there's a few other ones that are very good when it comes to RWA. So let me jump into the RWA sector here. Where are we? Where are we? Where are the categories? These are networks. Yeah. All right. Real world assets. All right. So for real world assets, right, things that I'm looking at are going to be, where do they go? We got tokenized Coinbase stocks. Got a lot of tokenized GameStop, Robinhood, Meta. Where is the tokenized? Geez, I haven't used market cap, coin market cap in such a long time. I cannot find the RWA cryptos. Hold up. Give me a second here. But is it really? They're really just taking off. Like they no longer have categories here or something. Jeez. Okay. Let's go to CoinGecko. Another one that I haven't used in such a long time. There we go. Categories. Let's look for RWAs. Where are RWAs? All right, so we got things like Chainlink, Ondo, obviously in the RWAs, but I am very interested in things like Goldfinch. I'm interested in things like um, TokenFi. I'm interested in things like Pinlink is an extremely small market cap, so I'd be very, very careful with that. But I liked their vision. I liked what they were trying to do, but I'd be very careful with that. Parcel is one that I recently just came across that I'm interested in. Parcel with real estate. Let's see here. Swarm Markets has been around for a while, but I don't know where they're going. There's a lot of them, but there's a lot of they're very small market caps, very small market caps. The large market cap ones, you know, I'm definitely not interested in ZBank. Polymesh, somewhat interested in. Not too interested in a lot of these, to be honest. Pendo, I like Pendo a lot. DeFi play on Ethereum. I think Pendo's going to do very well as Ethereum has a push towards new all-time highs. AVAX, I also like a lot. Epic for real-world assets. It's one of the few that's on the XRP blockchain here and there. Maybe they'll do some surprises, but you know, it also has been one that has been promoted a lot. So I'd be somewhat careful. What's going on, Crow man? Good to see you in here, brother. Good to see all of you guys smashing those likes. Can I move my 2.9 Bitcoin to blockchain? I don't know what you're saying because your Bitcoin's already on the blockchain. So you're either some type of scammer or you really have no idea what you're doing. And I suggest you be very careful before you lose your Bitcoin. You're down to earth. That's why I started following you. Much respect. Appreciate that, Mr. Slippers. We don't always have to agree. I can be wrong. You can be wrong. We can all be wrong and still be friends, guys. We don't always have to agree on price predictions. And some of us are going to be wrong. Some of us are going to be right. I'm never going to be right all the time. I've been wrong plenty of times in the past. I'll be wrong plenty of times in the future. And it's okay. It's okay. That's why we try to analyze data the best we can and go off based what the data is saying. And that is why I try to teach people to read data so they can come up with their own decisions, right? And be like, hey, Crusader, I'm seeing this and this and this, and I think you're wrong. And I'm like, oh, maybe you're right. And then you're like, you point something out, I'm like, oh man, I didn't see that in the data. Thank you. So I appreciate everybody. Everybody that's asking about joining the Crypto Citadel. The link is in the profile. Go to my profile wherever you're watching. Over on TikTok, go to my profile. Click on the link. You'll see it. It says 149, but use the code 9999. Right? Use the code. Just type in the two numbers 99, and you will get $51 off each monthly payment, keeping you in the $99 club. So make sure you guys are joining in there if you want to get access to my full 1 hour and 36-minute trading course, my day trade signals, my macro long-term analysis, my daily trade setups, and my live trading sessions as well. Make sure you guys are joining in and start leveling up your everyday analysis of data. Because I know a lot of people want to join to become day traders. I suggest people just go in there to learn how to read charts, how to chart on the actual, how to put things on the chart and be able to read where price action could be going, where resistance is, what the market trend is, what the market structure is, right? Where's resistance, where's support, and start getting a picture of where things are happening and how things are happening so that you can better understand when the market is going into FOMO, resistance, and you need to be, backing out, probably taking some profits, or when things are headed into support and everybody's panicking, thinking that it's going to go lower and lower, you're like, well, maybe now is the time to be putting some risk on. So all of those are very important skills to know as an investor. So I suggest you guys all get involved. Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Big Tensor Tau is one that I am bullish on. There's a lot of targets to the upside. It needs to get above $300 to start running for targets between 386 to $422. Until then, we could be heading lower. You think we're going to go up, then drop down? 97 to 98,000 is a critical level to flip into support. We've been rejected off of it these last couple of days. We have created a downtrend here in the last couple of days for Bitcoin. If next week we cannot flip 98,000 into support and get above it and start closing dailies and potentially a weekly and hopefully the month of January above 98, we will most likely get rejected, drop down, continue our downtrend, and close weeklies to monthlies below 98 after retesting it, which I warned you guys, if that happens, will be dropping down to 80,000, potentially as low as 67,000 for Bitcoin. So appreciate all of you guys in here. I hope you guys are learning to read data and start to learn. And if you haven't started to learn, if you don't have time to learn, at least join the Crypto Citadel and just read all the analysis that I'm posting in there. You can tag me at any point in time, be like, yo, Crusader, I want analysis on Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Zcash, Dogecoin, AVAX, Render, whatever your asset is. You tell me, I want it macro, I want it day trade, I want a day trade setup, I want a swing trade, I want a macro long-term analysis, just an overall thesis of where we're going here in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks. Whatever you're trying to analysis you're trying to look for, you tag me, you give me the asset and the time frame you're looking at, and I'll break it down for you so that you can read the data, you can read the analysis. Hopefully you will learn through the course and start doing it yourself. But I know a lot of people have 9 to 5 jobs. They're trying to hang in there. They're trying to do the best they can, working on 9 to 5, juggling life and families. So I provide the service of doing the analysis for you, posting the trade setups, posting the signals for you so that you guys can take trades if you want to be a day trader. But if you just want to be able to read the data so that you can be a better long-term investor, that's cool too. And you can dollar cost average and take profits at proper times. Just like back in October, I told everybody in my group, hey, I'm taking profits. I'm taking profits in October just in case things get worse. And things did get worse, right? Now things are starting to recover again, but it was a good time to take some profits off the table. So hope to see a lot of more of you guys in the Crypto Citadel there now that we're back at the 99 Club. Just type 99 when signing up. Use the promo code 99 when signing up to lock in the $99 club for the lifetime of your membership. Like always, guys, I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains, and I'll see you in the Crypto Citadel. See ya.